And he spent the night agonizing over what he should do, because he knew that if that infection got up to the top of her arm, she was going to die. The next morning, he made up a syringe of his experimental drug, and he injected it into his daughter, and she lived. Well, that drug was sulfanilamide. It was the first sulfa drug, and like I said, it was the first antibiotic. And it was a great advance forward. It saved a lot of lives. There was only one problem with that drug. It was not water soluble. And here come the Americans. American Drug Company, Massengill in Tennessee, figured out a great thing. They figured out how to get sulfanilamide to dissolve in water. And not only that, not only did they get it dissolved in water, but they were able to get cherry flavoring dissolved in the water too, so that they had an oral dosage form. Wow, this is fantastic stuff. They put it on the market and it sold like hotcakes. There's only one little problem. What? The solvent that they used to get all those things to dissolve in there was diethylene glycol. Anybody, does that a familiar? It's a component in antifreeze, along with ethylene glycol. It turns out diethylene glycol is just not good stuff. And people started to die. And it was not a pretty death. It was usually children, because this was supposed to be a children's oral dosage form. The cherry flavoring would get the kids to take this stuff down. They would get a fever, and then they would get chills. Then they would start having convulsions. They would throw up. Usually it would take them about a week to die. In the meantime, their parents had no idea what was going on. And it terrified everybody. Again, they called in FDA. At least they had an agency to call in, and FDA finally figured out where this stuff was coming from, and they went down to Tennessee to this company, and they said, people are dying from this. Where did you ship this to? We've got to find out if there's any more out there so we can pull it off the market. The company did not have any records as to where they shipped it. And just as an aside, something to keep in mind, that is now one of the quality system regulations, that when you ship something out, you have to keep records of where you shipped it. And that's the reason. That's where that came from.